Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana and I help guide people through the spiritual awakening. And I want to talk about leaving your legacy. Um, have you ever noticed that people that have left a big, massive legacy in the world have impacted the world? And it is always for the greater good, it is always for others. When you are in service, then you are in the right place. You are in a place of giving. So if you're coming at, I want to leave a legacy, and you're coming at it from a place of what can I get? How can I leave my legacy? How can I put myself out there and you are doing it for reasons of ego, reasons of look at me, see me, even celebrities that are in movies and they're very, very popular or very famous today. In the long run, if they didn't do something substantial for humanity, their legacy will not remain, even if they are living in that fame. And what you'll notice in past history, unless it was some kind of tyrant that left an awful legacy, a legacy that is exactly the opposite of doing good and expanding the humanity, rather did something horrific and hurt humanity, and then they have that as their legacy, what they leave as a lesson. Even that is for expansion, I guess, for humanity to see and to yeah, it's so funny because history seems to repeat itself over and over again. Even when we can look back in history and we can see things that have impacted humanity in a horrific way, we seem to keep repeating it. It's just like when we see our parents make a mistake, and instead of learning from that mistake, we go ahead and do the same mistake and then learn from it on our own selves. So that's just a side note. But if really you want to leave a legacy, it is always in the giving. It is always in allowing your gift to flow through you and giving that to the world. And you'll notice that a lot of people that have left great legacies were in service. And many of them talk about have following a calling, that it was beyond them. It was something that they were called upon to do. And when you purify yourself and get your ego out of the way, you will see that you too find your calling. You find this inner voice that is just compelled to go down this certain path. And you will also see that you were always being led to go down that specific path, because whatever your talents are, whatever your God given gifts were, whatever you came into this world, the filter that you are of God, right? Each of us are a filter. We are an aspect of the divine. We are part of this entire universe, an inseparable part of everything, right? It's like the atom bomb. If you try to take one of us out, we disrupt that would disrupt the entire function of the all of humanity. It's like splitting an atom. We are an inseparable part of this land. We are of the earth. We are stardust. We are water, dust, minerals, and carbon. We are made up of the entire makeup. We are inseparable. That is why I always come back to your worthiness. You are, you belong inherently just in the fact that you exist. And this particular makeup, this particular lifetime, this particular personality, this particular avatar that you got is the only one in existence that ever will be, the one of a kind makeup example of what can be made from substances that are already in existence, have always been in existence and will forever be in existence, right? Because when you give back this body, it goes back into the recycling, it goes back into the earth, it goes back, even if you're cremated, that dust and that energy, it doesn't disappear, and it never can disappear from existence. So you are of existence. You are perpetually, just in the fact that you exist. And so embracing yourself is like embracing the universe. It's embracing all that is. And the unique person, and with your unique attributes, who you are, the gifts that you were given, even if you don't know what those gifts are, right? There's some people that have obvious gifts, like they come out of the womb playing piano, or they are extraordinary athletes, or gifts that are very, very uh, profound and obvious. But each and every one of us, our personality is our gift. The way that the universe filters through us, the way that we conceive and perceive the world is unique to us. The way that we communicate that is unique to us. The way that we interpret all that is who we are and what we are, and our gift that we have to give to the world. And so that's why I always come back to be an expression, be an expression. And in order to be an expression, you also have to get over all of the conditioning and all of the insecurities and all of the feeling like you're abandoned, you don't belong. Abandonment is like that core wound that sits at the base of all of the wounds. I don't belong. I am, like the imposter syndrome, where you feel like everybody else belongs, but I don't. And it's an illusion. It's absurd, because everything that you are has been here forever. And just the fact that you exist in itself is proof of that. It's either exist or non-exist. And there is no such thing as non-exist, because that's an absence of. There is no such thing. So there only is existence. And existence itself is God. I know that God has, like, you could say the universe is the all. It doesn't matter what you call it. Divine intelligence. We are of this divine intelligence. Whatever, we are of creation itself. We are a part of it, an inseparable part of it. You cannot remove a single part of existence without it all imploding. So we are in existence. It cannot be different. And just in that fact, we are worthy, and what we have to say is unique. And we have the right to say it and the right to believe it, especially if you have access to this video. You have some, at least, depending on where you are in the world. I know there's so much going on nowadays in the world, but at least you have some freedoms, if not complete freedom, to say what I don't even know if that, well, I'm not even going to get into that. But you have freedom to be an expression in ways. You can find ways to be an expression. And being an expression is doing what you were meant to do. And if we go back to legacy, if you want to leave a legacy, an impact, I live in Galilee. So this land has been written in history, throughout history, from thousands of years ago. And if I go hiking on the side of the mountain, I always find ancient ruins. There's ancient, right down in the valley below my house, there's an ancient homestead and windmills or water mills. And I often think, well, the people that lived here, there is absolutely nothing left of their legacy. There's no way of ever knowing who lived there, who was there. It's like they came, and really in ancient times, it's beautiful because there wasn't they didn't leave really a footprint. There's so many generations upon generations upon generations that have lived in this land, and even the homestead is made of ancient carved stones of the land. So it's like there is no impact or no imprint. Just in the past 100 years or so, everything that we do, we leave like this footprint of plastic. We're going to be the plastic legacy, the time when humanity left junk on the planet. Let's get off. Let's go. That's going to be this generation, this past 100-year generation legacy, which is something else. Humanity will be able to learn something from it. But coming back to personal legacy. So in order to leave a legacy, the most important work that you can do is not go out and try to find, how can I leave a legacy? How can I leave a legacy? Because that is coming from a place of taking. That is coming from a place of the ego. That is coming from, and it will never come out authentic. You cannot make, when you are in that set of what can I get, what can I take, then it is false. That is felt energetically. It is a complete different energy. The energy of me taking is complete ego, is sitting in ego, and is completely different than in the emotion of where it comes from, what can I give? And when that comes from an authentic place, then it is felt. It is something that is felt. And in order to get to that place, the most important work that you can do is the inner work of letting go of all of your confinements, letting go of those glass ceilings, letting go of trying to fit into the norm. Because what is the norm? It's a consensus, but there isn't even a written consensus. It's what I interpret that I am supposed to be like in order to be acceptable in society. And then within society, there's little societies, little groups of I want to say authenticity, but it's not authenticity. Ethnic groups or religious groups or society statuses. And so you have to fit into that norm. And as long as you're trying to fit in, you are not standing out. As long as you're trying to fit into to become part of a joint consciousness, then you are abandoning your unique consciousness. And not only that, trying to fit in and become and form yourself or reform yourself to fit in is in itself an insecurity. It's I cannot stand alone. I don't believe that I have the answers. I don't believe that I am worthy. I don't believe I don't have answers, and therefore I go into a unit, a consensus to try to find the answers of what is acceptable for me to be. Now, not saying that we don't need community. Community is something that is very valuable, but first find out who you are so that the community will be aligned with that, with who you are, and that you have place to be your own unique person within that community. And not only that, when you become you, you create your own community. You create your own friends and values and ways of being. There is like your community becomes, it doesn't have to be something that is confining. It can be more like you and this other person and this other unique person and this other unique person. And so it's kind of like breaking free. What we are doing as we're coming into ourselves, so we're doing a generational cleansing. We're doing healing for the generations that came before us. And we are teaching ourselves. That's why this process is also can be very scary, because we're going out by ourselves to find ourselves. You cannot find yourself when you're following a pack. You have to be willing to go into your own individuality. And so by finding your own self and bringing that forward, coming into expression, right? Because that is the breaking free, is coming into expression, allowing your own life light to flow through you, God light, whatever you want to call it, the way that you interpret things, the unique way that you see things, bringing that so that others can also see that. And not only others can see that, but they can also be inspired by that. Because when somebody sees authenticity, it is mesmerizing. It is it is magnetizing, and it is inspiring, because when you see somebody being their authentic self, what do each and every one of us want? The capability of being our own authentic self. We are like in shackles that we are holding in place, that is that societal conditioning that is holding us down in place. And it doesn't matter what society you are in, we are all conditioned as children on our parents' beliefs, our community's beliefs, the uh, experiences that we went through when we were told that, when we were made to feel like we're not okay, so then we adapt to certain behaviors, so that, or warp our personality, or so that we can accommodate and not get into those hurty places. It's always the emotions. We're always afraid of feeling our own emotions. So it's setting our own emotions free and being willing to do the inner work. That is the most important work. If you're out trying to find your legacy, it is going to be completely elusive, because you are working on expectations that are outside of you. Well, how can I make a mark? Well, looking in society for your mark. Whereas when you do the internal work and leave that whole concept of what can I do to make a legacy alone, leave it. You go inward and you start doing that internal work, and you start clearing out yourself, the part of what you have come to give will come as an inner calling. You will have to listen to it. It will be a nagging. It'll start nagging at you. You'll start feeling it in your throat that you have to be an expression. You have to express this. It'll be so intense, that feeling of healing and that overwhelming joy of that self. I don't even know. I don't have words for it, but that feeling of that self healing, when you get to that place, it will have to come out of you. You'll feel it stopped up here in your, like, your throat chakra, but you'll feel it stopped up here. You have to express it. And so leaving a legacy is more about doing your own self work. And when you get to that place, whatever it is that you were meant to give will come out. It will have to. And in that way, you can leave an impact on the world. And then a physical trick, or something to pay attention to as you go through your daily tasks, right? We get into these mundane routines. Get up in the morning, have our coffee, go to work, make money, do whatever, come home, clean house, and we have this routine. And if you can put one thing into your routine that is being in expression, putting something out there for mankind, something that is in a giving, something that you can give to humanity. Set something that will not disappear tomorrow, something that will stay in the world after you are gone. So even if it is writing down something inspirational, or creating a piece of art, or bringing yourself into the physical world in some way, bringing your expression into the physical world in some way, if you do that daily, then your mark will be made. And not only will your mark be made, it it will open up in yourself that expression, because you are physically starting to bring what it is that you're understanding. You're from the ethers, you're physically bringing it into the world. So you will start manifesting what it is that you are, and you will learn that mechanism of how to bring something, interpret it, and bring it into the physical world. So it'll bring more of that, right? Because we're creating an energetic cycle. So it'll bring more of that to you. So making your mark or leaving a legacy is more about the internal work than it is about the external work. You can trust that when you do the internal work, the external will come, will show up. And then just with purpose, setting something in motion, something in motion. And that will also bring you to a more enjoyable life, because you feel like you are an expression, and you're that whatever is uh, like festering up in you will be able to come out. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you for watching. If you would like a one-on-one session with me, my contact information is below in my website. Thank you.